The alt-season chart is tightening again, but that does not automatically turn every high-beta coin into a smart trade. This matters because the article is really about capital rotation and risk sorting. XRP, Aptos, Sui, and Pi were presented as very different ways to express the same broad altcoin idea. The tension is whether the supported catalyst is strong enough to survive the first reaction and keep drawing buyers once the easy excitement fades. The article described a long-term compression pattern in the Altseason Index and improving lows on RSI even before a full breakout was confirmed. It treated XRP as the more stable structure, Aptos and Sui as higher growth but higher volatility bets, and Pi as speculative because of unclear liquidity and limited exchange access. For searches like Buy ALTCOINS Now, this matters because the article is really about capital rotation and risk sorting. XRP, Aptos, Sui, and Pi were presented as very different ways to express the same broad altcoin idea. Those confirmed details matter because they tell you whether this move came from one headline or from several pressure points landing together. The entire setup was framed as an early structural signal, not a confirmed full alt-season. An alt-season breakout usually needs capital to rotate away from Bitcoin dominance and into smaller assets. Until that breakout is confirmed, the market is still sorting which narratives deserve more risk. Compression means the market is tightening inside a range and storing up energy, but it does not tell you the direction until the break is confirmed. That mechanism is the part traders can miss when they only look at the chart. That affects traders trying to jump early into a broad theme, because the wrong read can turn a watch list into a bag of thin liquidity bets before the cycle is actually ready. This is why the move can look larger or weaker than one headline suggests. In stories like this, the structure underneath the price often matters as much as the candle itself. The main uncertainty is timing. Compression can precede expansion, but it can also persist longer than eager buyers expect, especially if macro sentiment stays mixed. Buy altcoins now is the phrase tied to the setup, and the main uncertainty is timing. Compression can precede expansion, but it can also persist longer than eager buyers expect, especially if macro sentiment stays mixed. A market can move before those answers arrive, but it usually cannot keep the same pace forever without them. The important point is that price action and structure are not the same thing. A sharp move can be real while still resting on fragile conditions that have not been fully settled. That is especially true when leverage, concentration, or technical positioning is doing part of the work. Watch for confirmation on the index itself, not only on individual tokens, and keep a close eye on liquidity conditions around the weaker names in the basket. Timing matters here because the next clean signal can separate a durable move from a temporary burst. If that signal confirms the story, confidence can rebuild quickly. If it fails, the move can unwind just as fast. The broader consequence is that traders are not only pricing a chart. They are pricing confidence in the mechanism underneath the chart, whether that mechanism is supply, leverage, collateral, or narrative follow-through. That is why this story matters beyond one intraday move and why follow-through is the real test. Watch for confirmation on the index itself, not only on individual tokens, and keep a close eye on liquidity conditions around the weaker names in the basket. The practical takeaway is simple. Watch execution, watch the key level or flow that matters in this story, and do not treat an early move as proof that the final answer is already known. The market still has to validate it.